There are 3 customers in the store. A woman with allergies is looking for food that is safe for her. A man is looking for water and explains he's super thirsty after a long run. A girl is shopping for cat food and says she's in a rush because her cat is waiting. Security notices that the most expensive chocolates are missing. Who took them? The guy with a big shopping bag says he's looking for water, although he has a bag full of groceries. It must be him. At a fusion restaurant, it's time for the show Craziest Dish of the Week. Chef Akira brings out bright blue noodles with a hint of lime. Chef Carla presents a bowl of bright red noodles. Chef Mario brings a plate of regular noodles, but with wriggling octopus tentacles sticking out. One of these dishes could be dangerous if not prepared by a professional chef. Which one? Now, some types of octopus can be toxic if not prepared correctly, so it's the third dish. Food coloring is safe to eat, for the most part. At a store exit, a security guard notices someone is wearing brand new sneakers from the display. There are 3 suspects. A girl in flip-flops says she was looking at jackets, not shoes. A guy in sneakers explained that he had been wearing these sneakers since spring and offered the guard to smell them. The woman said the stolen sneakers weren't even her size. Who seems suspicious? The guy is over-explaining because he is obviously nervous. He must have stolen the sneakers. 3 DIY bloggers are streaming live from a hardware store. The first one is looking for tile adhesive to stop the tiles in the bathroom from sliding. The second one needs caulk to seal the joints. The third one is looking for painter's tape to stick the tiles so they hold. Who's pretending to be a DIY expert but clearly doesn't understand how materials work? Painter's tape doesn't hold tiles, and a DIY expert would know this. So this girl is lying. 3 girls are trying on wedding dresses. The first one loves the one that highlights her collarbones. Her fiancé is into them. The second one is planning a beach wedding, so she needs a light corset-free dress. The third one only cares about finding comfortable sneakers to match the dress. Which of them isn't a real bride, but just came by here to try on dresses? The first girl doesn't have an engagement ring, and she definitely doesn't look bridal. 3 pregnant women are waiting in the checkout line. The cashier notices a slight twitch in one woman's dress, like something inside just shifted. He suspects that the woman isn't actually pregnant and is hiding groceries under her dress. Which one is it? No pregnant woman would stand in line wearing high heels with no support, so she definitely has something to hide. There were 6 bottles of lemonade in the fridge. The first customer took 2. The second took half of what was left. The third took 1 more bottle. How many are left? They started with 6, so 4 bottles were left after the first customer. The second took 2, which is half of 4. So after the third one took 1 bottle, there was just 1 bottle left. Lisa got a job as a dog sitter. The dog owners told her pets each stick to their diet, but they forgot to tell her who eats beef, who prefers chicken, and who sticks to pork. The food is already in the bowls. How can Lisa figure it out without calling the owners? The collars and the bowls are color-coded, so the dog with the blue collar must eat from the blue bowl. The pink collar gets the pink bowl, and the green one gets, well, you can figure it out. Nancy has a talent for drawing. and her friends always ask her to make birthday cards for them and their families. This time, she painted a beautiful flower with greetings, and she just needs to cut it out. When her friend brings her the scissors, Nancy says she can't do it, and the friend has to finish it herself. Why? Nancy is left-handed, so if she uses right-handed scissors, she can mess up the whole card. Susan had a huge birthday party. Her husband gave her a luxury necklace, but by the end of the party, the necklace was gone. Anyone could have taken it. Do you have any guesses who did it? The waiter did it. Check out this empty glass bottle. The necklace is inside. Mrs. Spikes had to fly to a different city for work for just one day. When she came back, the house was a mess. She got really mad at her teenage son for doing this, but he claimed he had no idea how it happened. He was just sleeping all day after a night of playing video games. Was he lying? The guy wasn't lying. Look at the TV screen. There was a slight earthquake in the area that day. He must be a heavy sleeper. Jake is on a long flight from Los Angeles to Tokyo, and he's got a really chatty neighbor. The woman just won't stop talking, and he wants to rest a bit. He calls the flight attendant and asks her to let him switch seats since there are many empty ones. The flight attendant checks the IDs of both passengers and just laughs. Why? The woman is Jake's own wife. Uh-oh. Kyle, Sue, Mike, and Anna were on the train. Without warning, the lights went out. When they switched on again, Anna was missing. All that was left of her was her phone and one of her earrings. Kyle said he was in the other part of the car when the lights went out. Sue said she was sleeping at the time. Mike was reading a book and didn't see anything. Well, who's lying? It's Mike. He couldn't be reading if the lights went out. Students knew they would have an exam on Monday, but their professor refused to tell them the exact time. Every time they asked, he answered with a riddle. If 11 plus 2 equals 1, 10 plus 6 equals 4. Can you guess when the students should meet with their professor? At 4 p.m. 11 o'clock plus 2 hours is 1 p.m. Then 10 o'clock plus 6 hours is 4 p.m. You'll need to think outside the box to crack this one. 1 is to 3, as 3 is to 5, and 5 is to 4, and 4 is the magic number. Can you figure out the pattern? The word 1 has 3 letters, the word 3 has 5, and the word 5 consists of 4 letters. But the word 4 has 4 letters in it, and whatever number you try, eventually you'll come back to 4, and the game will end there. Steve was going home one night when a large cat jumped out of the bushes right in front of him. The animal had large fangs and sharp claws. It was about to pounce on Steve. The guy only had his phone, a handkerchief, and a bottle of water. And still, he came out of the situation unscathed. How did he escape from the cat? Well, cats aren't huge fans of water, so Steve just poured some water on the feline and it scared the animal away. You've got a sack filled with coffee beans. You need to use this coffee to completely fill 2 other sacks of the same size. How can you do it? Put one empty sack into the other and fill it with coffee. Simple.
Hey mystery fans! Get ready to activate your brain muscles and solve some pretty challenging mental puzzles. 4 girls, Lucy, Serena, Amy, and Kate, all claim to be mermaids who've taken on human form to walk along the shore. They're all gorgeous, but one of them is only pretending to be a mermaid. Who is it? It must be Lucy. She has leaves growing on her back, and it's a symbol of land, not sea. Real mermaids wouldn't have plant traits on them, as it would show they don't belong in the ocean. At a school reunion, 3 old friends, Cindy, Bob, and Michael, are bragging about how their lives have changed. Cindy says, "I married a millionaire and now live in the Maldives." Bob boasts, "I'm a pilot now, flying all over the world." Michael brags, "I became a developer and built my own app. Now I work for myself." But one of them is clearly lying. A small detail gives them away. Bob is lying. He claims to be a pilot, but he has a full beard. Commercial pilots must be clean-shaven because facial hair can prevent oxygen masks from sealing properly in emergencies. A train passenger, Miss Smith, reported that someone had stolen her suitcase. Police questioned 3 fellow travelers. Mr. Green said he was wearing headphones the whole time. Mrs. Chu claimed she was enjoying the landscape out the window the entire trip. Miss Jones said she was dozing off, but her suitcase was definitely next to her. But the officer noticed one important detail. Who's lying here? Mrs. Chu is lying. They were traveling at night and it was pitch dark outside. There was nothing to look at through the window. A seamstress has a 60-foot roll of fabric. Every day she cuts 10 feet off. On which day will she make the final cut? Rely not only on math, but also on logic for this one. She'll make the final cut on the 5th day because she only needs to make 5 cuts to divide the roll into 6 pieces of 10 feet each. You're in a room with 3 switches. All of them are currently off. Each switch corresponds to one of the 3 light bulbs in the next room. You're only allowed to enter the bulb room once. How can you figure out which switch controls which bulb? You gotta turn on the first switch and wait a few minutes. Then turn it off and quickly turn on the second switch. Now enter the room with the bulbs. The bulb that is on corresponds to the second switch. The bulb that is off but warm corresponds to the first switch. The bulb that is off and cold corresponds to the third switch. A grandmother, 2 mothers, and 2 daughters went for a walk in the park and decided to buy 1 ice cream cone for each of them, but they only bought 3 ice creams. How is that possible? Well, there are only 3 people. One is the grandmother. Let's say her name is Emma. Her daughter is Anne, and Anne's daughter is Stacy. Emma and Anne are the 2 mothers. Anne and Stacy are the 2 daughters, and Emma is the grandmother. That makes 3 people total, even though there are 1 grandmother, 2 mothers, and 2 daughters. A popular singer lives in a cool circular house with expensive works of art. One day, she notices the most expensive painting from her collection is missing. The police question all the suspects. The gardener says he was busy taking care of the flowers. The cook tells the police she was making a cake. The maid claims she was vacuuming the furniture and dusting the corners. Who's lying? The singer lives in a circular house. The maid couldn't be dusting corners, so she had something to hide. One woman crosses the state border every day on a bike with 2 huge bags. After a week, the border guards get interested in her. They search her luggage, but it turns out to be just old clothes. What is she smuggling across the border then? Well, she clearly isn't smuggling works of art or jewelry, but bikes. Someone pushed the actress who plays the leading role in a popular theater play down the stairs. Luckily, she survived, but she won't be able to perform. She calls the police, and they suspect it was one of the actresses who plays the supporting roles. Can you help them figure out who it was? The actress grabbed the person who pushed her and ripped off a part of their costume. This girl's costume is missing a piece, so it must have been her. The police got an anonymous email about an upcoming heist in one of New York's museums. To stop it from happening, they need to figure out at least the month the heist is planned for. Try to help the police and figure it out using a secret code. In this rebus, the jar stands for J, the umbrella stands for U, the lion is for L, and the yellow heart stands for Y. The heist is planned for July. The paparazzi are after a supermodel who's trying to keep her personal life a secret. She even planted cacti all around her house so no one can approach. But one photographer still manages to get close and snap some photos. The model wants to sue them, but how can the police tell who did it? This guy on the left has scratches left by cacti all over his body. It must have been him. A luxurious hotel got an anonymous call. There's an imposter among the guests who plans to rob others staying at the hotel. If this happens, it will ruin the reputation of the entire hotel chain. You can save the hotel from going bankrupt if you figure out who the imposter is. All hotel guests have the same bracelet, and only this guy on the right doesn't have one. He must be the imposter. A group of friends is hiking and sleeping in a tent at night. When they wake up in the morning, they noticed someone has stolen all their food supplies that were outside. They are miles away from other people. Can you help them solve the mystery? See those footprints over there? Must have been a bear. So the best they can do is forget about the stolen food and find a safer place to camp. On the 1st of July, someone stole a really important document from the office of a successful company. The boss was away, so they only noticed it several days later and figured out when it happened from the CCTV camera footage. The main suspect, who was the head of the competing company, said she was on vacation and even showed a plane ticket. But the police didn't believe her. Why? The ticket is for June 31st, and that date simply doesn't exist. Jennifer was riding her bicycle when someone sitting at a coffee shop terrace threw a disposable cup with cold coffee inside right in her face. There were 3 girls inside at that moment, and she wanted to know who it was. Can you help her figure it out? This girl is wearing a bright purple lipstick, and it's the same color as the mark on the cup that she threw at Jennifer. Roxy was alone at her parents' house and ordered a big pizza. When the courier arrived, she got really scared and called the police. What made her do it? The delivery guy was from a sushi place. She decided he was trying to break into the house. Nancy went on vacation and left her laptop password for her colleagues. But she loves riddles a lot, so she didn't tell them exactly where to find it. It must be a 4-digit code. Will you help them figure it out? This postcard with dice on it isn't there for nothing. You need to write down all the numbers. Yes, it's 7235. How many riddles did you manage to solve without pausing the video? Let's talk about it in the comments section.
Hey, are you ready for a new portion of mind-bending riddles? Crank up your logic and attention, and let's go! 3 friends, Lindsay, Carol, and Jane, were collecting seashells on the beach to make necklaces. Each chose the most beautiful shell to place in the center of her creation. Lindsay picked thin white shells that look like pearly spirals. Carol chose flat pink shells that seemed straight out of a fairy tale. Jane decided to add a shell with beige net-like patterns, a glossy surface, and a small opening at the base. Now, one of the girls is in serious danger. Can you guess who? Look at that information board at the beach. Jane added a geographic cone shell to her necklace. It has venom that is fatal to humans. Uh-oh. Carrie, Samantha, and Ben were together when Carrie's phone went missing. Of course, none of them admits they took the phone. The security checks the CCTV cameras, and you can also take a look. Who do you think took the phone? Obviously, it wasn't Carrie. Samantha had tight jeans with no pockets, so she had no place to hide it. Ben had no bag at all, but a hoodie with large pockets, the perfect place to stash a phone. So Ben must have been the thief. Today's virtual meeting of the Cat Lovers Club has 3 new members. They're proudly showing off their pets. Aw, so cute. But one of them is lying. They're not a real cat lover. Who's the imposter? Look closely. Behind the guy in the center, there's a dog peeking out from the doorway. This means he's the imposter. Gary, Nick, and Ben share an office fridge. One day, someone put a piece of unwrapped fish in it, and now the whole fridge smells terrible. Each of the guys has an excuse. Who most likely put the fish in the fridge? Gary is vegan and probably telling the truth. Ben mentioned strawberries, and the wrapper in the trash supports that. Nick claimed he never opened the fridge, yet he had a container leaking fishy water. Meaning he lied and most likely put the fish inside. 3 friends, Jamie, Linda, and Sue, posted on their stories that they're heading to work. But one of them actually decided to ditch work and go shopping instead. Take a look at their social media to see who's lying online. It's Sue. She posted a photo on her way to work, but the reflection gave her away. She's holding a shopping bag, not a laptop, so she's just pretending to be working today. A group of tourists is going camping with a local guide on a remote island. It's so wild, it has no internet connection whatsoever. When everyone wakes up in the morning, one of the tourists notices his expensive camera is gone. He asked the guide about it, and he says he didn't see anything suspicious as he was watching YouTube videos all night. The tourist realizes the guide has something to do with the disappearance of the camera. How? Well, there's no network signal or Wi-Fi connection. It's impossible that the guide was watching YouTube videos all night. Lady Rose, a wealthy heiress, was traveling by a high-speed train. She had a box full of jewels with her. After the train left one of the tunnels, Lady Rose noticed that her box was missing. There were 3 other passengers in the train car. Doug said he had just lost his job and didn't care about anything happening around. Mia said she hadn't seen anything, as her eyes had been tearing from all the fumes coming from the train. Steve said that he had bought his favorite author's new novel and was busy reading. So, who took the box? It was Mia. Modern high-speed trains are electric and don't produce any fumes. Let's test your attention a bit. Lisa is having dinner and watching TV after work as usual. Can you spot anything odd in this picture? The mirror reflects a completely different TV program. Alice and Sam are spending their honeymoon at a perfect beach resort. Yet, something is off here. Can you see it? There are oranges growing on this palm tree. They'd better move away from it just in case. Stan ordered red roses for his wife's birthday. The delivery guy arrives, and his wife is over the moon, but Stan is really mad. What happened there? Well, these flowers are definitely not red roses, and the card says, "Love M." So, there is some mysterious M on the horizon. A truck hit a man and he was lying on the ground unconscious. A detective who was there by accident rushed to the nearest shop to get some water for the man. When he got back, a passerby told him the man hadn't come to his senses. After looking at the scene for a couple of seconds, the detective told the passerby to return everything he had taken from the man. Why did he say so? When he first saw the man, his jacket was buttoned up. Now it's open and the pockets are inside out. A fancy watch designer presented their new collection at a penthouse party. All the watches were made of gold and platinum and were worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. During the party, someone stole the most expensive platinum watch with diamonds. No one left the penthouse, so the robber must still be among the guests. Can you find them? Look, this lady in the corner has a really unusual necklace. It's a platinum watch that looks exactly like the one in the photo in the middle of the room. The lady was hoping no one would look for it on her neck. Nina came back from her lunch break and saw that someone had spilled coffee all over the papers that took her forever to finish. Her work bestie decided to help and ask others what they had been doing during lunch break. Drew and Cam said they had gone out to try the new Italian place. Liz was busy watering the plants in the office, and Sammy said he had been talking to his boyfriend on the phone. Can you tell who's lying here? It was Liz. There isn't a single plant in the office. Diana is a thief, and she broke into the house of a rich actress who showed her jewels in one of her interviews. Diana was after just one thing, a huge emerald. She grabbed it and ran out of the house. The guards were already waiting for her, but they found no emerald and had to let her go. Once Diana got home, the emerald was already waiting for her there. How is this possible? Diana came with her pet parrot. She trained the parrot to carry the little bag with the emerald and return home. So the parrot was waiting for her there. A famous businessman disappeared right from his home one afternoon. The police arrived and questioned everyone who was in the house at that time. The cook said she had been preparing dinner and hadn't left the kitchen. The maid claimed she had been cleaning the dining room after the businessman and his wife had had lunch. And the wife said that after lunch, she had been sunbathing and swimming in the pool. The detective immediately figured out who was behind the man's disappearance. Can you do the same? It was the wife. Look outside, it's winter, and there's no water in the swimming pool. Lisa's sister asked for help with cleaning the house, but Lisa said she couldn't make it as she had to prepare for her big and important math exam. Her sister accepted it, but once she opened Lisa's room to offer her snacks, she got really mad and stopped talking to her. Why? Well, the book Lisa was reading had nothing to do with math. She must have grabbed the closest book as soon as she heard her sister's footsteps and pretended she was studying. Nancy is traveling around Greece. A local guy offers her to visit an exclusive gallery with ancient statues no one else has seen before. She agrees, but then quickly realizes he's a scammer. How? This statue has a mobile phone, and this one is wearing headphones. They might be unique, but ancient? I don't think so. So, which of these puzzles was the hardest for you? Please share in the comment section. Guys arrived at the local hospital to film an interview with a famous professor, Dr. Thompson. But first, he had to help 4 people. Kyle complained, "I'm misophonic. I wash my hands 100 times a day." Kelly explained, "I'm afraid of heights. I can't even ride a bike." Fred complained, "I have a strong fear of water. I can't even look at a faucet." And Jenny claimed that she had claustrophobia. She always fainted in elevators. Dr. Thompson knew for sure that only one of these people told the truth. Can you tell who? Fred can't be afraid of water. He has an aquarium with fish in his house. Jenny lives in a tiny van, so she can't have claustrophobia. And Kyle's apartment is too messy for someone who has a fear of dirt and germs. So it's Kelly. She sleeps on the floor, which is normal for someone with an abnormal fear of heights. Next stop, creepy caves. Zach and Peter went to see ancient ruins in the middle of the woods. Many people had disappeared there. The guys heard weird screams coming from the cave, ran toward the sound, and got lost. Suddenly, they saw 3 tunnels. The first tunnel was filled with fire. A hungry vampire was waiting in the second tunnel. And the third tunnel was filled with poisonous apples. Which way should they choose? The third tunnel is safe. The guys don't have to eat those apples. After their epic adventure in the cave, Zach and Peter went to the supermarket to buy some groceries. I'm guessing the apples made them hungry. Can you see a ghost in this room? Here it is. Peter and Zach found out that people had seen some zombies in this abandoned town. So they decided to make a stop there and check for themselves. The town looked empty. The guys were very disappointed. But suddenly, a crowd of hungry zombies popped out of nowhere and started chasing them. The guys ran into a hospital and locked the door. Zombies began breaking the door down. Luckily, a helicopter with a rescue team arrived quickly. It was going to land on the roof. Zach and Peter needed to get there as soon as possible. Help them find the shortest way. Here's the way. After saving the guys, the rescue team invited Peter and Zach to go skydiving together. They agreed and put on parachutes. They took this picture inside the plane right before the jump. Can you tell which of these people is in danger? This man over here, he's wearing a regular backpack instead of a parachute. The guys made a stop on the shore of a famous, mysterious lake. They went fishing. Suddenly, a mermaid jumped out of the water and dragged Zach into the lake. Peter jumped into the water to rescue his friend. Finally, he found Zach wrapped in seaweed on the rocks in the middle of the lake. 3 mermaids had gathered around Zach and were singing their songs. When they noticed Peter, they said, "We'll set your friend free if you guess which one of us is not a real mermaid. Can you help the guy?" This lady over there, her tail isn't real. Sometime later, Peter's aunt, Sarah, called them. She was very upset. She found out that she had left her diamond ring in the guy's trailer. Peter found the ring and said, "No worries, we're going to send it back to you." But there was a problem. If he sent it by post without locking the box, the ring would be stolen. Both Peter and Sarah had some locks, but neither of them had the key that would open the lock of the other. Still, they managed to make it work and Sarah got her ring back. How did they do it? Peter locked the box with the ring and sent it to Sarah. When Sarah received the box, she added her lock and sent it back. Peter received the box and removed his lock. Then he sent the box back to Sarah. She opened the lock with her key and got the ring. Man, these folks lead complicated lives, don't you think? In a parallel universe, it's only allowed to have fun and eat candies. No one ever reads or studies. Mrs. Relham came back home after a long day at the club. Her 3 daughters had been staying at home. The woman asked them what they had been doing. Hannah said she'd gone shopping for a new board game and then spent the day playing it with her friends. Elle said that she had been partying with her classmates in the pool. Ava said that she had been binge-watching TV shows all day and eating ice cream. Mrs. Relham could tell that one of her daughters lied. Who was it? It was Hannah. Look, the board game she bought is unpacked. She couldn't be playing it. 4 friends were driving to New York City for the weekend. The music in the car was on and everyone was in a good mood, so the driver got distracted and got in a car crash. A police officer arrived and started an investigation. He asked the guys who had been driving, but no one wanted to take the blame. Then the officer inspected the car. Can you tell who was driving? Look, there's a purse hanging on the driver's seat. It must belong to a girl. There's just one girl in the group, so she's likely to be the driver. Mrs. Miller came back home after work and asked what her daughters had been doing all day. They were all grounded and weren't allowed to leave the house or watch TV. Kaylee said that she had been doing housework and had just finished cooking pizza for dinner. Ellery said that she had been upstairs in her room reading. Lilith said that she'd spent the day cleaning her room. Who's lying? It's Kaylee. She said that she had made this pizza herself. But why is there a pizza box in the garbage? She ordered the pizza and was probably doing something else instead. It was a cold fall day. Mr. Jones was at home drinking tea and reading his newspaper. He also peeked out of the window from time to time. There, 4 teens, Mark, Davin, Bexley, and Penny, were having a picnic. Suddenly, a ball broke the window of his living room. The teens started to pack their things. They didn't want to confess who had done this. In the evening, Mr. Jones got a note, but inside there was just a question mark. Do you know who broke the window? The question mark is a hint. It literally means question mark. So Mark must be the one who did it. Adele found her friend Oliver on the floor of his studio in the attic. She called the police. The officer who came asked the girl to tell him what had happened. Adele said that she had been walking past Oliver's house and noticed that the lights had been on. She came up to the window, peeked inside, and saw him on the floor. She called the police and ran into the house. The police didn't believe her. Do you? No, it doesn't sound right. The guy was in the attic. Adele couldn't possibly see him through the window, unless she was 20 feet tall. On Wednesday, a high school student, Layla, went missing. There are 3 suspects: Mrs. Adams, the director, Mrs. Smith, a school cook, and Mr. Jones, a cleaning man. Mrs. Adams said that she had a lot of work and spent the whole day in her office, never leaving it. Mrs. Smith said that after the working day, she had to stay in the kitchen to do some cleaning before the weekend. Mr. Jones said that he'd left after classes to do some shopping. He only returned several hours later. Who is guilty? There's something suspicious about Mrs. Smith, the cook. It's Wednesday, so what weekend cleaning is she talking about? Alan was traveling from Madrid to Amsterdam, but when his train arrived at the station, he wasn't there. His friend reported his disappearance. The police found some traces just a couple of 100 miles away from Madrid. First, they saw Alan's footsteps, and a bit further away from there, his suitcase was found. Then they interrogated the man who was the last to see Alan. He said that Alan hadn't had a train ticket, so when he saw the conductor coming, he threw his suitcase and then jumped from the train himself. Do you believe this man? If it were true, the police would have first found the suitcase and then Alan's footsteps. But in this case, we can conclude that the guy didn't jump himself. He was pushed off the train.
One of these people on the train is hiding some treasure. Who can it be? It's this woman. She pretends to be pregnant, but her belly is suspiciously square. Look at these 2 girls. Who will be the first to escape? The one on the right. She hasn't touched her food because she uses her spoon to dig a tunnel. The girl on the right has managed to escape, but the tunnel splits into 2 smaller ones. One is swarming with snakes, and in the other, a fire is raging. What should she do? She should dig another tunnel above these 2. She's got her spoon after all. David was a famous antique dealer in his town, but there were loads of people who envied him. The man had a beautiful young daughter called Liza. One evening, when the antiquarian was busy in his workshop, his phone rang. A man told him that they had David's daughter. If he wanted to see her again, he had to give his jewelry collection to the man waiting at the doors. David requested to talk to his daughter. He asked her just one question. "I have 2 hands, but I can't scratch myself. What am I?" When David heard no answer, he said, "It's not my daughter," and hung up. What's the answer to this riddle? Liza would know that her father was talking about a clock. It took 9 years to build the world's tallest skyscraper. Every next year, the builders managed to double its height. How many years did it take the skyscraper to reach half of its maximum height? 8 years. If the constructors doubled the building's height every year, the skyscraper was half of its final height a year before it was completed. Divide 30 by 1/2 and add 10. What will you get? The correct answer is 70. Most people divide 30 by 2, add 10, and get 25. But when you divide a number by a fraction, you should actually multiply it by the denominator, which is the number below the line. This way, 30 times 2 plus 10 equals 70. You find yourself in the middle of a forest with 3 paths in front of you. The first one is covered with burning hot coals. The second path is so cold that it feels like Antarctica right under your feet. And the third path is covered with sharp nails. Which path should you choose? The second path. All that ice is bound to be gone soon. It's too close to the hot coals. The police were looking for Kyle for 2 days. The guy went hiking and never came back. Finally, he was found. Someone had hit him on the head and left him lying in the bushes. Kyle only managed to say, "Friend," and lost consciousness. The police officers had 3 suspects, all of them Kyle's friends. Zachary said he'd spent these last days at work getting ready for a conference. Jeremy told the detectives he sprained his ankle and had been in bed for 4 days. And Billy explained he'd been to New York for business. He even showed the police officers his boarding pass. Who's responsible for the accident with Kyle? Billy showed the police just 1 boarding pass. Then how did he get back from New York? His story sounds fishy. Jordan was very late for a job interview, but when he drove up to the office building, he found out there were no free parking spaces. He decided to leave his car a bit further from the entrance. Oh no, even though there were several other vehicles in that area, parking was prohibited there. Luckily, Jordan came up with an idea and didn't get fined. What did he do? He took a parking ticket from another car and put it on his windshield. It looked as if he'd already been fined. Hey, I didn't say it was an honest solution. That day, famous chef Logan was going to have some very important guests in his restaurant. He was anxious because his future depended on how they would appreciate his food. Everything had to be perfect. There was only 1 hour left before the guests were supposed to arrive. And that's when Logan discovered someone had left ugly red handprints on his sparkling white jacket. He examined the stains. It was ketchup. Logan knew that some of the cooks didn't like him. Look at them and tried to help the chef figure out who's guilty. There's a pair of gloves stained with something red in the trash can. The only person who isn't wearing any gloves is the cook on the left. He was the one to spoil Logan's uniform. Linda was in a cafe with her boyfriend, and their date wasn't going very well. At one point, they both got angry and started to argue. Suddenly, their waiter came up to the table and handed something to Linda. It was a note with a strangely written word. Lowercase t, uppercase r, lowercase o, uppercase u, lowercase b, lowercase l, lowercase e. Trouble? Linda was confused. What could it mean? Can you figure it out? It's a rebus puzzle. The waiter got worried and asked Linda, "Are you in trouble?" Hey, ready for some Valentine's Day riddles? Look at these 3 guys. Which of them is going on a date tonight?
Hello.
It must be this one. He has a little wrapped present, probably for his date.
Aww.
Now let's peek inside a restaurant. Which of the 3 girls is on a date? It's this one. Look, there are roses and 2 sets of dishes on the table. So she's not alone, and it's something romantic. My money is on her. This is Allison, and one of these 3 young men is her boyfriend. Can you tell who? It's this one. Look, they have matching tattoos. Take a look at these 2 proposals. Which one of them is fake? This one. Look, the guy has a ring. He's clearly already married. It was Friday evening, and Mark was waiting for his girlfriend to get back from work. He prepared dinner and was about to propose. His girlfriend came back home with flowers. Do you think she was on a date with someone? No, she wasn't. Look outside. The same flowers grow in their garden. She just picked some before entering the house. On Valentine's Day, Annika found a love note on her desk. Unfortunately, the note wasn't signed, but she had 3 suspects. So she asked each of them if they had written her a note. Dylan said, "I was busy finishing my math homework before class." Connor said, "I was hanging out with my buddies outside." And Luke said, "I was in the bathroom and I just returned." Who wrote Annika the letter? It was Luke. Look, his hands are covered in red ink. That's the color used in the letter. Also, if he had really been to the bathroom, his hands would be clean. On Valentine's Day, Jess found a note in her locker. But the note was weird. It was just a sequence of random letters. Or was it some code? Can you help Jess read the note and figure out who sent it to her? Of course it's a code. Look, there are 5 groups of letters with 5 letters in each group. Let's put them into a 5x5 table. And now, we need to read this vertically, column by column. Will you go out with me, Colton? So where's that Colton? Michelle was hosting a Valentine's Day party. She invited all her school friends, and everyone was allowed to bring a +1. Either their significant other or a single friend. In the middle of the party, she noticed that her cousin was in the garden talking to some girl, but it was dark and she couldn't tell which girl it was. She just saw that the girl had long hair. When her cousin returned, she knew immediately who he was interested in. Here are 3 girls with long hair. Who was outside with Michelle's cousin? Look, Michelle's cousin has a lipstick stain. The girl must have left it, and this girl right here is wearing lipstick of the same shade. On a cold, rainy night, Damon was driving past a bus stop. There were 3 people there waiting for their bus. An elderly lady who looked sick, a doctor who had saved many lives, and Addison, a girl Damon had a crush on for years. Unfortunately, there was only room for 1 more person in his car. What should Damon do? He should give his car to the doctor, who would then take the lady to the hospital. And Damon can stay at the bus stop waiting for the bus with the girl of his dreams. Looking like a hero in her eyes. Yeah. Let's take a little break now. Have you seen any romantic movies? Well, I hope so, because I'll be showing you some emojis, and your task will be to guess what romantic movie they stand for. Okay, here's the first very easy one. Of course, that's Titanic. Here's the next one. Nothing much, but it should be clear. Do you know this movie? It's The Notebook. What about this one? A relatively recent remake was a great success. Can you recognize it? It's A Star is Born. Here's the next one. Do you think you can guess it right? It's Before Sunrise. The next set of emojis illustrates another very well-known love story. Can you guess it right? It's La La Land, of course. Here's the last one. It's an oldie but a goodie. What do you think? Everyone's favorite, The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey. It was Valentine's Day, and Nicole wanted to put a little present in the locker of the student she had a crush on. Unfortunately, she didn't know the code. Luckily for her, the owner of the locker was forgetful too, so there was a note with a hint. Can you figure out the combination? Each number is the number of lines in the respective letter. There is just one line in I, 4 lines in M, 3 in H, and 2 in T. So, following the same logic, there are 4 lines in E, 2 in L, 2 in V, and 3 in Z. So the combination is 4, 2, 2, 3. Okay, here's another code for you to crack. This time, you need to help Eric. He wants to get his wife a nice Valentine's Day gift, but he is absolutely clueless about what she wants. So, the plan is to break into her computer, check her shopping cart, and get something from there. The problem is that the computer requires a passcode, and the man doesn't know it. Luckily, there's a note on the desk, so he types in 6198. But the passcode is wrong. Can you figure out what the correct passcode is? The note is just turned upside down. Eric should try typing in 8619 instead. Kennedy works in the emergency room. It's Valentine's Day and there's a patient who felt unwell during a college party. Kennedy leaves the room because she needs to talk to the patient's girlfriend. She was at the party with him. Which young woman should she approach? Who is the guy's date? Keep in mind that the couple was at a party, so they must be dressed nicely. The patient's date is most likely this woman in a pretty dress. Now, let's do some exercises to train your eyes. Here's a bunch of hearts. Can you find one broken heart? Yes, here it is. Good job. The task is similar, but not quite. Now there are many hearts and a few broken hearts. How many broken hearts are there? There are 5 broken hearts here. Have you found them all? Kelsey came to an antique store to get some presents for her boyfriend for Valentine's Day. She needed a baseball cap for him, an antique pocket watch, and a toy car from the 1920s. Can you help her find all these items for her boyfriend? Here's the cap, here's the watch, and here's the car. Have you spotted them all? Mark, the boyfriend, is getting presents for Kelsey in the same antique store. He needs to find a pretty cup, an antique mirror, and a beautiful photo album. He needs some help too, so keep your eyes wide open. Do you see all these items? Here they all are. 1, 2, and 3. Great job! It's a Valentine's Day party, and Melody, the most popular girl in school, is hosting it. 4 best friends are standing together, and one of them is Melody's boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
You ask them who the boyfriend is, and here's what they say. The first guy says, "The fourth one is the boyfriend." The second guy says, "It's me." The third one claims, "No, it's the first guy." And the fourth one says, "No, it's actually me." If only the boyfriend tells the truth and the other guys lie, who is Melody's boyfriend? Only the boyfriend tells the truth, so he will say, "I'm the boyfriend." So it's either the second guy or the fourth one. But if the boyfriend is the fourth guy, then the first one is telling the truth too. So Melody's boyfriend is the second guy.
The king of one country was holding a feast where he invited all his friends. Guests gathered in the great hall. But before the celebration began, one of the courtiers informed the king that all the drinks were poisoned. The king said nothing and offered everyone to raise a toast to the new millennium. All the guests got up and raised their glasses. That's when the king noticed the villain who had been trying to poison him and other guests. Who is it? The guy over there is holding an empty glass. He knows the drinks are poison, so he hasn't poured anything in his glass. Once, on a cold winter night, someone stole jewelry from a famous singer's house. The thief didn't manage to run far away because a police car was passing by. The burglar hid the bag with the jewelry in the snow and disappeared into the crowd. Detective Anderson managed to catch 2 suspects. Look at them and try to guess who robbed the singer. If you dig snow with your bare hands, they will turn red. This man has red fingers and palms. But that woman could dig snow wearing a pair of gloves, so she could be the thief too. But she wouldn't be able to run in such high heels. A university professor enters a lecture hall, where his colleague, an elderly teacher, is giving a lecture on quantum physics. He's drawing formulas on the board, and his students are using their laptops to take notes. The professor knows that one of these students is sleeping. He starts walking around the room, stopping behind each of them in turn. Who's dreaming right now? Almost all the students are writing the formulas down on their laptops, except for that one. His screen is off. That's because he's fallen asleep. Detective Anderson is chasing a robber dressed in a tuxedo. Suddenly, the criminal runs inside a huge hall. All people there are formally dressed. Help Detective Anderson find the suspect among them. Catch that guy. He's sweating because he's been running. Leo's boss yelled at the guy because he hadn't completed his weekly work plan. Now Leo has to spend his entire weekend in the office, finishing his work. The boss took Leo's magnetic card so that he couldn't leave the building. Several hours had passed. Leo feels hungry. There's no water or food in the office, but there's a fridge and cooler in the next room, behind the door with a magnetic lock. On Monday, Leo gives his boss the completed report. Somehow, the guy managed to get food and water. How did he do it? Leo just went to the refrigerator and got himself some food. No one said the door with the magnetic lock had been locked. Mike wakes up in the back seat of a racing car. The engine is roaring, the wind is blowing in Mike's face. There's no one at the wheel and a cliff is straight ahead. Michael's hands are tied. He jumps out of the car without hesitation and lands on the asphalt. Surprisingly, he doesn't get a single scratch. How is this possible? the car isn't moving, just its engine is running. Victoria approaches her house. The light bulb turns on automatically and lights her way to the door. Victoria inserts the key and goes inside. A couple of hours later, the doorbell rings. She looks through the peephole and sees a silhouette of a man wearing a hat. Victoria is afraid to open the door, but not because it's a stranger, but because it's not a human. Why does she think that? The light sensor didn't work, so there's no physical body outside. There's a huge airplane hangar on the edge of the desert. Pilot Tyler steps inside and notices a cat sleeping near the ceiling on one of the beams. Tyler decides to save it. There are no stairs and nothing else that can be used to get there. The only thing Tyler sees is a large puddle of water on the floor. So, how did the cat get there? There was a pyramid of ice cubes. The cat climbed to the top of it and reached the ceiling. Then the ice melted and left the puddle. Margaret, Rachel, and Diana are walking down the street, sharing their plans for the weekend. The girls look rich, but only one of them has a lot of money. Who is it? It's Margaret. You can notice the key to a Ferrari in her bag. While leaving her house, Sandy takes her sunglasses out of her bag and accidentally breaks them. Now she needs to buy new ones. Sandy calls a taxi and arrives at the street with fashionable boutiques. "The best glasses in the city," the sign on the first building claims. "The best glasses in the world" is written on the second boutique. The inscription on the third store is the coolest. Sandy heads there. What is written on the third store? The best glasses in this street. Johnny is going through his bills. $50 for electricity, $39 for water, $70 for a bag, $448 for a new phone, $52 for dinner at a restaurant, $589 for a computer, $637 for a room in an expensive hotel. He has received a $978 bonus at work, but he also needs to buy a new fridge for his mom, and it costs $798. John has to leave soon, but he wants to know how much money he'll need. How can he calculate it quickly? He should use the calculator app on his phone. The simplest answer is often the right one. Detective Anderson investigates the case of missing purebred puppies. He has a list of 3 suspects. He visits each of them. The first suspect is a young girl. She says she spent the previous day with her friends. And she's also allergic to dogs. The second suspect is an elderly man. He says he hasn't left the house for the last few days. The third one is a famous video blogger. She says she was making YouTube videos all day. Which of them is lying? The first girl. She says she's allergic to dogs, but there's a bowl and some dog food in her kitchen.
In a city's museum, an expensive golden egg covered in diamonds went missing. The museum workers noticed it in the morning and, of course, they immediately reported the theft to the police. The city's best detective started investigating the case. She carefully looked through the footage and identified 3 main suspects. Then, she saw a handprint on the glass the egg was placed behind. Take a look at these handprints and at the suspect's hands. Who is guilty? It's this person right here. Look, the prints of the fingers aren't full because something came in the way. This person is wearing rings right there, so it's their print. In a little town, someone stole an expensive silver collar for a cat, covered in diamonds and precious gems. The shop's owner called the police, and the investigation started. There were 3 suspects. Mr. Johnson said,
I came to look for earrings for my daughter's birthday. We don't have any pets.
Mrs. Martin said, I got a bracelet for myself. I didn't steal anything. Mrs. Tanner said,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The thief is Mr. Johnson. There are cat footprints in his garden, so the family obviously has a pet. There was a robber in the city, and no one could catch him for several months. After another incident, the police saw the robber entering a hospital. They walked in and ran into 2 doctors. Which one of them is fake and is actually the robber? It's this guy, the one who's wearing headphones instead of the stethoscope. Mrs. Stevens went on a 3-month vacation, but had her workers coming regularly to maintain the house. When she returned, she realized that one of the workers was skipping quite a bit of work once in a while, going on an unplanned vacation themselves. Who was it? A gardener who takes care of the outside garden, a housekeeper who takes care of everything in the house, or a painter who is coming to paint her house. It's the housekeeper. Look, the houseplant's dried out. Seems like he skipped a couple of weeks of work and probably only cleaned the house right before Mrs. Stevens returned. Do you think you can figure out who the bride of this man is? It's this woman right here. Look, she has the same tattoo as this guy. A small city's police got a message that monsters silently flooded the town and now live among humans. It's not a problem, but the police decided to identify them all to keep an eye on them. Can you help the police identify in which houses the monsters live? Here's the first task. You see 2 houses and a vampire lives in one of them. Which one? It must be this house, the dark one where the blinds are closed on all the windows. Vampires don't like sunlight. Okay, the next task is to find the house of a mummy. Here are 2 possible options. Which house does the mummy live in? This one. Look, there are bandages around the house. The next creature whose residence we need to identify is a gnome. Take a look inside 2 houses. Can you tell where the gnome lives? Probably in this house. All furniture is smaller and placed way lower than in the other house, so it must be the residence of someone small, like a gnome. Now, we need to find the house of a centaur. Take a close look at both houses. Can you identify the one? This one right here. See, there are horse prints on the pathways to the house. The last one. A real witch lives in one of these houses. Can you tell where you're most likely to be bewitched? Did you notice this cute black cat? That's a famous witch sidekick, so my bet is on this house. On a cold January night, Delaney was found unconscious in the cloakroom when her best friend Jane came looking for her. She was at a house party with a bunch of college students. The police interrogated several students, asking where they were around the time of the accident. Allison said, "I was upstairs all the time, dancing with my friends." Liam said, "I went to a kiosk to pick up some candy for my girlfriend. There were only drinks and chips." Oliver said,
I was talking to a girl. She seems to like me.
"Who should have been taken to the police station?" Liam. It's a cold night, and he would need a jacket to go to a kiosk. And if he needed a jacket, he would go into the cloakroom to get it, and would have found Delaney instead of Jane. So either he lied or walked past an unconscious girl. Ronan Collins, a successful businessman, went missing. His family reported it to the police. The main suspect was Ronan's business partner, Jennifer. She had been out of the city, but as soon as she returned, the police knocked on her door and asked if she knew something about Ronan's disappearance 2 weeks prior. "I just returned from my month-long trip to the Amazon rainforest an hour ago. I haven't heard anything about it." The detective didn't believe her right away and took her to the station for further investigation. Why? From the photos, we can clearly see that Jennifer dyes her hair. She says that she just returned from her trip, which was a whole month long. But her hair is perfectly dyed. Some roots would grow out, so she's lying at least about something. Esme was having a walk in a forest and got lost. But she found the house of a witch, walked in, petted her black cat, and asked the witch to take her home. The witch was busy operating on a frog, a rat, and a crow. She was using magical healing gloves, but she only had 2 pairs, so she needed Esme's help to figure it out, and then she'd take her home. How can she operate on all 3 animals with the 2 pairs of magical gloves, but remain sanitary? The witch should operate on the frog wearing the first pair of gloves over the second one. Then, she should operate on the rat using just the second pair. Finally, she should operate on the crow wearing the first gloves inside out, worn over the second glove. Detective Callum had to travel to a small neighboring city where dogs were being kidnapped every night, right out of the house. There were already 4 of them missing, and all of them were living on the same street. Mila was kidnapped first, then Karma the next night. After that, it was Jake, and then Mr. Sniffer. There were just 3 dogs left that lived on the street. Can you figure out which dog is going to be the next target? Look carefully at the dogs that were kidnapped, or actually at their collars. The first dog that was kidnapped has a red collar. Karma has an orange collar. Then Jake was wearing a yellow one, and Mr. Sniffers owned a green one. Seems like they're being kidnapped in order of rainbow colors. So, the next target should be this dog, the one wearing the blue collar. Mason called the police, reporting that his metal safe box with his savings was stolen. He walked into his bedroom right in time to spot the robber throwing the safe out of the window and disappearing in the window right after. So, Mason wanted the robber caught or his insurance to pay him the money he had lost. The detective came to investigate. "Did you touch anything in the room after the incident?" he asked. "No, I came straight to you." "Then there was no robber," the detective concluded. "Why?" The robber couldn't go out of the window without stepping on the bed that was standing right by the window, but the bed is perfectly made. How is it possible if Mason didn't touch it?
Jessica is walking down a cold street in an abandoned city. The temperature is so low that steam is coming out of her mouth. She turns the corner and notices a cart filled with food and bottles of water. It's a real treasure, especially in a world where the entire civilization is almost completely destroyed. But as soon as the girl touches the cart, 3 zombies come out of the building. They're approaching Jessica, stretching out their hands toward her. She grabs the cart and runs away, but then she stops. She understands that they are not zombies, but people. How has she figured it out? All these zombies have steam coming out of their mouths. That means they're breathing and they're alive. One famous movie studio hires new staff: lighting and sound engineers, a director of photography, a mechanic, a gaffer, prop artists, stunt performers, and an editor. But they all need to demonstrate their professional skills to get this job. The candidates have a week to make a short movie. On Monday, they start. Actors and actresses laugh and cry, sound engineers record all their emotions, the DOP captures beautiful pictures, stunt performers are amazing. Prop artists create a small town with incredible decorations. 1 week later, the studio managers are watching the movie. It's terrible. None of the candidates gets the job. Why did this happen? Why couldn't they make a good movie? There was no director among them, and no screenwriter to write a script. Two friends are sitting at the same table in a cafe. One of them is speaking about the extinction of dinosaurs. He's saying scientists are going to get the genetic code of these ancient creatures. The second friend is talking about his sister's party. There were a lot of cool people, great music, and delicious food. Other people sitting in the cafe are annoyed by the guy's loud voices. But why is this dialogue so strange? Why is one of the guys talking about dinosaurs and the other is telling him about a party? What's going on here? These two guys aren't speaking to each other. They're talking on their phones through headphones. It's nighttime. Three girls are standing in line at an ATM inside a bank. The first girl is getting some banknotes. The second one is looking around. The third girl is typing on her phone. Which one is a thief? Well, they're all robbers. The bank is closed. Take a look at the sign on the door. It says open. So the closed side is turned toward the street. "Where's my cake?" the chef screams. Assistants and junior cooks are running around the kitchen. A steak is burning on a frying pan. The kitchen is filled with smoke. A plate falls to the floor and shatters. The chef screams again. "Where's my cake? Who took it?" Everyone says they've been cooking. None of them wants to admit eating the cake. The chef doesn't believe them. Who do you think stole the cake? Nobody. The cake is in the oven, see? Jack is in a cold cell. There's only bare ground under his feet. In the cell, there's one window, but it's impossible to escape through because it's located too high. There are no stairs and no chairs, just a shovel. Jack has no water and no food. He needs to get out of there in 2 days. But he can't dig a tunnel since the walls are too thick and go deep underground. Jack will get exhausted long before he digs his way to freedom. So, how can he escape? He needs to dig a large hole in the ground and use the dirt to make a small hill. He can then climb it and reach the window. Marty walks around an IT university building. 3 people are following him and discussing something. Marty enters the Hall of Holograms. People walk inside too. Marty sits down on a chair. As for the 3 people, they go on the stage, still talking. Some of them are holograms. But who? This guy has a flashing nail on his right index finger. This girl has 2 left hands. The girl in the middle is slightly transparent. They all seem to be holograms. But wait a minute. Take a look at Marty. He's sitting on a chair, but his body isn't touching the surface of the seat. He's not real either. It's early morning. Sam leaves the house and goes to the lake. The sun hasn't risen yet. The water is crystal clear. Frogs are croaking in the distance. Sam takes several photos of nature and one selfie. He posts the pictures and writes this caption: "I've had a great run. There is nothing better than a morning workout, my dear followers. Have a great day." After that, the guy returns home and goes back to bed. He sleeps until lunch and then takes his phone and sees hundreds of comments. "Ha ha ha, I wish I had such a run." Dude, why do you deceive us like that? Here it is, a real day of the champion. Obviously, people have found out that Sam didn't run in the morning. But how? He wrote that he had just had a run, but his face isn't red and he isn't sweaty at all. So, Rick wants to become a famous chef, but the cooking school only accepts applicants over 18. Rick's brother Jeff is twice older than Rick. Rick's sister Ruth is twice younger than Jeff. She turned 18 this year. So, Sherlock, can Rick apply for his dream school this year? Yep, he's 18 years old. Rick and Ruth are of the same age because they're twins. Rick has prepared all papers for the cooking school, but he still needs to get some work experience and recommendations to get accepted. He found 3 job ads. Bill has a small diner on the 4th floor of the local shopping mall. He needs help in the kitchen. Holly offers a part-time internship at her fancy sushi restaurant. But first, you need to pay $300 for a 2-week training. Sam needs an assistant in his noodle shop. Now, only one of these offers isn't fake. Can you tell which one? There's no 4th floor in this shopping mall. Holly's picture is hanging on the window of the restaurant, and it says scammer, so Rick should choose Sam. Sam liked Rick's skills and CV, but he wanted to test his intelligence before hiring him. That's why he gave Rick this list of ingredients and asked him to bring them from the pantry of the cafe. Unfortunately, Sam coded this list. Can you help Rick find all the products? Here's the first ingredient. I always try to catch up with my buddy Mustard. What am I? Have you guessed? It's ketchup. Here's the next one. My closest friend is peanut butter. What am I? The second ingredient is jelly. I'm a nut that is only delicious when fried or baked. What am I? Have you guessed? It's a donut. I am a bird, I am a fruit, and I am a person at the same time. What am I? A kiwi. I go along with most veggies and snacks beside me. What am I? I'm a dip. It's nothing personal. I'm a cup that doesn't hold any water. What am I? I'm talking about a cupcake here. A little pool with 2 layers of water around it. One is white and soft, and the other is dark and hard amidst a light brown grassy lawn with an outline of green grass. What's that all about? It's a coconut. It's hard to get a smooth bite, and you can chew me for a long time if I'm too dry. What am I? And the correct answer is jerky. I'm a green veggie that looks like a tiny tree. What am I? Can you guess? I'm broccoli. A time when they're green, a time when they're brown. But both of these times cause me to frown. But just in between, for a very short while, they're perfect in yellow and cause me to smile. What are they? Well, I'm sure you've guessed it's all about grapes. People confuse me with a vegetable, but I'm actually a fruit. I'm red when I'm ripe, and I'm sliced and served on burgers. What am I? A tomato or tomato. I'm the type of room you cannot enter or leave. I raise from the ground below. I can be poisonous or a delicious treat. What am I? Can you guess? All of this is about a mushroom. You throw away my outside and you cook my inside. Then you eat me from the outside and throw away what's inside. What am I? The correct answer is corn. I'm the kind of food that mummies like to eat. What am I? It's a wrap. Oh, really? Time for the final ingredient. I wear a red coat and have a stone inside my throat. Who am I? I'm a cherry. Hey, great job. Rick has brought all the ingredients. Sam hired him right away and asked him to take orders. Rick saw 3 customers in the cafe, but only one of them was a real human. Can you spot who exactly it was? This woman has gills just like a fish. She's a mermaid. And this guy's wearing trousers instead of a shirt, and he's trying to pay with shells. It's pretty clear he's not from this planet. Someone had stolen a tip box from Sam's cafe. The police arrived almost at once. Rick said that he could only see the back of the robber. He knew it was a woman. The next day, another robbery took place, but this time the guard managed to block the exit. The police arrived in a minute. They saw 4 women in the cafe. Can you tell who the thief was? It was Pam. She's the only one whose shoes are good enough for running. The police nearly arrested Pam, but she managed to escape. Rick ran after her and noticed she snuck into a school. Rick followed her. He noticed Pam's hoodie by one of the doors, so he entered the classroom. Rick faced 4 ladies who looked like Pam. Can you help him find the real Pam? There she is. She has neither books nor pens on her desk. 2 months later, Sam gave Rick a good recommendation. Rick applied for cooking school, and now he has to take some exams. Rick's current task is to cook a delicious soup. 3 pretty ladies are taking the same test with him. He liked them equally, but only one of them was trustworthy. Can you tell which one? Jenny has a bottle of poison in her spices collection. Fiona put push pins in her soup. It's very suspicious as well. Kelly didn't do anything wrong. She looks pretty reliable. After the soup test, Rick got a new task. He must tell which cupcake is in the very center of the tray. Can you help him? It's the pink one.
Mrs. Collins went on a business trip and her daughter Ella stayed in the house alone. Of course, the girl wanted to invite some friends over. Her mother knew it was inevitable, so she permitted Ella to invite no more than 2 friends. Mrs. Collins also asked a neighbor to keep an eye on her daughter. Here's what the neighbor saw when she approached the house. Is Ella following her mother's instructions? There are 5 cars parked by the house. Assuming that one of them belongs to Ella, there are at least 4 more girls in the house, but possibly even more. In any case, Ella invited over way more people than she was allowed to. Jason received a letter from a girl wanting to ask him out. Unfortunately, the letter wasn't signed, so he didn't know who the girl was. He only knew that it must be someone from his class. Take a look around. Which girl sent him the note? The letter is written in purple ink. Look, that girl over there has a purple pen, so she must be the secret admirer. Detective Callum got a call from a local store selling branded shoes. A pair of their expensive high-heeled shoes appeared to have been stolen. Unfortunately, the cameras didn't work that day and the footage wasn't available. But there was a camera at the entrance taking photos of people walking in and walking out of the store. Who is the robber? It's this woman. Look, she's gotten taller on her way out, probably because she's wearing the shoes. A police officer was following a robber around the city. Suddenly, the robber entered the hospital and disappeared. When the police officer entered the building, there were 3 workers. One of them must be a robber who was pretending to be a patient. Can you identify this person? It definitely can't be this pregnant woman, and I doubt it's this old man. This man seems to be blind, but where is his stick then? I bet it's the robber who's wearing shades to pretend to be blind and draw away the police officer's suspicions. Take a look at these 3 people. One of them isn't a human, but who? It's this woman. Look, the hand behind her head is green. Avery was walking in a forest late at night. There was the full moon and she encountered 3 werewolves. Well, actually just 2, because one of them isn't a real werewolf. Which one? It's this one right here. Look, there's a zipper, so he's obviously wearing a costume. Okay, now take a look at this photo of people in a restaurant. One of them is a vampire hunter in disguise. If you were a vampire, who would you avoid at all costs? You'd have to avoid the place overall because it's the cook. Look, he's adding garlic to the dishes. Now let's check how attentive you are. Now I'll be showing you some photos and you have to find out what's wrong or odd about them. Here's the first one. What do you say? Look, the ghost is plugged into a socket. Here's another one, again with a ghost. Are you attentive enough to notice what's wrong with this one? This ghost casts a shadow. You're doing great. Here's the next one. Keep your eyes wide open. What do you see? This vampire is tanned. Those guys never see sunlight, so they're very pale. Okay, the next one is just as tricky. We're in a house of a vampire. Can you notice what's wrong here? Look at the picture in the background. The vampire is on it, but vampires can't be photographed. Paige wasn't doing well in school, so she was grounded for all the winter holidays and forced to study. Her father would work the night shifts, so quite often he wasn't at home for a long time, so Paige would often sneak out. She was very careful so it would go unnoticed. But one early morning, the father came back and realized that Paige had sneaked out at night for a party. How did he figure it out? Look, Paige's car is the only one in the neighborhood that's not snow-covered. It means that she's recently used it. Mrs. Jones grounded her teenagers for throwing a party in the house the previous weekend. They weren't allowed to go out for 2 weeks and were under strong supervision. On Saturday, Mrs. Jones left for an hour to go grocery shopping. When she returned, she figured out that someone had sneaked out for that hour. Evie said, "I was watching Netflix." Dale said, "I was texting with a friend." Kaya said, "I just finished taking a shower." Who sneaked out? Kaya. If she had really just taken a shower, the bathroom mirror would be misted. But look, it's all clear, so she got an additional week at home. The next Saturday was supposed to be the last Saturday when the teenagers were grounded, and Mrs. Jones went shopping again. When she returned, she noticed dirt on the carpet in the hallway, so she knew right away that one of the teenagers sneaked out again. Evie said, "I was just reading in my room." Dale said, "I was gaming." Kaya said, "I was watching TikTok right here on the couch." Who sneaked out this time? This time, it must have been Dale. He has wet hair, which could be weird, but it's not. It's raining outside. It means he was outside and not just sitting in front of the computer. The next Saturday, only Evie wasn't grounded anymore. In a parallel universe, it's only allowed to have fun and eat candy. No one ever works or studies. Mrs. Relham came back home after a long and fun night at a club. Her 3 daughters were supposed to have fun too. She asked them what they had been doing. Hannah said, "I went to a party with my friends in that new dress you got me." Elle said, "I organized a sleepover. We were binge-watching shows and eating." Ava said, "I was gaming all day with my friends online." Still, Mrs. Relham could tell that one of her daughters lied and actually spent all day studying. Who was it? It was Hannah. Look, her dress is perfectly clean and still has a price tag on it. It doesn't seem like she wore it. As you remember, Elle had a sleepover with her friends, so her room is a complete mess right now. Now, she's going to a beach with her friends. She needs her sunglasses, sunscreen, and her swimsuit. Can you help her find them in the room? Yes, here they all are. Great job. A day after the beach, Elle is heading to her classmate's place for a party. She needs her dress, her handbag, and her lipstick. Can you help her find them? The dress, the handbag, and the lipstick. Did you find them all? Hannah was getting ready to meet her best friend for a picnic and didn't find some of her stuff. She remembered that she had lent her shoes, her hairdryer, and her backpack to her sister, Ava. Ava's room was no less of a mess than Elle's. Can you help Hannah find her stuff there? Here they are. Did you find everything she needed?
Ava is getting ready for her volleyball practice. She needs her volleyball, her sneakers, and her hoodie. Where are they? They're all here. Esme was having a walk in the forest, and guess what? She didn't get lost. Here was her way home, but she decided to go and visit a witch because she had a deal for her. I have a riddle. If you don't solve it, I'm taking your cat. The witch agreed. When does New Year's Day come before Christmas Day? The witch kept the cat. What was her response? New Year's Day comes before Christmas Day, literally every year.
Sometimes, solving a riddle isn't just a fun brain exercise, it could save someone else's life. Let's see if you can make it. It's summertime and everyone's at the beach. But for one of these girls, the dream vacation could end in a tragedy. Can you tell who's in danger here? Although the second girl looks well-equipped and prepared for anything, she's in dark water that could be dangerous. The first girl is in the shallow right next to the beach, so she can just run away or ask for help in case of danger. Okay, this time, two guys are on vacation. They have completely different ideas of fun, so one is mountain skiing and the other one prefers surfing. Again, one of them is in real danger. Can you guess who? Well, that wave looks huge and scary, but it shouldn't be a problem for an experienced surfer. Meanwhile, screaming loudly in the mountains isn't the best idea though. It could start an avalanche. So the skiing guy should watch out. Leslie and Sam also have completely different ideas of fun. So Leslie is enjoying a beach day and Sam is exploring the forest. Which of the girls could be risking her life this very second? Now, unless a huge tsunami suddenly rolls in, Leslie is perfectly safe. Sam, on the other hand, has ignored the "Danger, do not enter" sign. Who knows what those plants could do to her? Ashley and Dana are having a spa day. Each of them orders drinks to relax even more after a long massage. But, oh no, one of them is about to get more than drinks, and it's not good. Who's in danger here? Ashley should be perfectly fine. The water is cold and the tray looks pretty stable. But Dana is about to get a hot tea shower on her uncovered back. And there's one more suspicious detail: an open tiny bottle with acids. Uh-oh. Tina and Scarlett want to go on a hot air balloon ride. The instructor offers to let them choose the balloon: a blue one, a green one, or a red one. Tina picks her favorite color, red, and Julie wants to go for the green one. Which of the girls is in danger? The color isn't that important when it comes to a hot air balloon. There are no sandbags in the red one, so Tina is about to risk her life. Hey, math fans! If you're tired of saving lives, this one's for you. How does a 9 become a 6 by adding one letter? Well, I tricked you. It's more about thinking outside the box in math. Put a letter S in front of the Roman numeral 9 and you'll get 6. See? Here comes another one. I add 5 to 9 and get 2. No mistake here, but what am I? If you add 9 days to 5 days, hey, you'll get 2 weeks. Ricky found money, a phone, and salted fish. But out of all this, he grabbed the salted fish and ran away. Strange choice. Can you guess what made him choose the fish? Well, Ricky is a cat and can't appreciate money or phones. Alright, cats are cute, but this one is about monkeys. In which month do they prefer to play baseball? Don't even try to find some logic here, it's all in the word itself. It's April, or more like April. Get it? Willie and Billy are twins, and they have the same tastes and like the same things. There's only one thing they don't share, and it's love for cats. By looking at their houses, can you guess which one of them loves cats? Willie has cat toys casually spread on the floor, and the wallpaper at his house is scratched at the bottom of the wall. So he's the cat lover. Lady Martha has a special talent. When people approach her at the fair one by one, she tells each of them something different. She tells the man pizza, the little girl ice cream, and the woman salmon bowl. What is Lady Martha's talent? She can see what other people have just eaten. That's one rare and weird special talent, I must say. Unless they're sloppy and spilled food on their shirts, like I do, then it's easy. All colleagues are bragging about their fun summer vacations. They all show photos and share stories. But one of them is obviously lying about their adventures. Can you guess who? Well, this guy definitely didn't visit Paris this summer. In his photo, the Eiffel Tower is in the middle of the desert, and it's actually in the center of Paris. You've got really bad Photoshop skills, my friend. Brittany checks into a hotel room and falls onto the bed. But suddenly, there's a knock on the door, and a group of clowns with dog balloons breaks in and makes her dance for them. When she sits on the bed, she sighs in relief. What just happened there? It's already light outside, and it was dark when Brittany was checking in. So all this was just a nightmare, although a very realistic one. It's a busy day at the coffee shop. Lucy, the waitress, comes up to one of the tables to pick up the mugs. Moments later, she's calling the police from the kitchen. Why? The girl at the table left a tiny message on the mug with her lipstick, saying SOS. Looks like her date turned out to be a dangerous person. Mrs. Green has a huge house and several helpers. One day, she calls the police and says one of her staff members must have stolen a large sum of money and her jewelry. The suspects are the gardener, the cook, and the laundry lady. Can you tell who stole the valuables? It must have been the laundry lady or someone who wanted to make it look like she did it. Look, there's money and jewelry inside the washing machine. Douglas is interviewing for his dream job. He's already passed a lot of tests, and now it's time for the final decisive challenge. The interviewer asks him to prove that the pen on the table doesn't exist, and he does it with just one question. But how? He asked the interviewer, "Excuse me, which pen are you talking about?" It's raining so hard that no one can see anything, and all traffic is stuck. Lightning flashes in the black sky, and people are running to safety. Everyone is soaked, but one man is lucky. Not a single hair on his head got wet. How is this possible? Well, the man is bald, so he has no hair on his head. You wake up inside a plane from a super loud engine. You don't remember getting in and don't know what's going on. You get up from your chair and notice there's no one else on the plane. You walk forward, look into the cockpit, and the pilots aren't there either. You decide to leave, open the emergency exit, and jump out of the plane. You land on the asphalt unharmed. How is this possible? Well, the plane wasn't flying anywhere. It was standing on the ground this whole time. Nina is taking exams to study at the most prestigious cooking school in the world. The final question is, what product will never be salty when you boil it, no matter how much salt you add? Please help Nina pass this uneasy exam. Well, it's an egg in the shell. No matter how much salt there is in the water, the boiled egg won't be salty. Someone locked 10 people in one room. A mechanical voice from the outside says that to get out of the room, you have to place an apple in such a way that everyone but one person can see it. Do you have any ideas how to do it? Put the apple on the head of one of the people, and it's done. Stacy loves traveling. Today she's flying to a new destination. There are just 3 flights in the next hour. One to Berlin, another one to Rome, and the third one to London. Can you guess where Stacy is going? She's headed to London. You can see she has a sticker from Berlin and a keychain from Rome on her suitcase, so she has already been to those cities. Wow, if you manage to solve all these riddles, congrats! You can handle any situation with your logic and wits. Are you ready for a mental workout? These riddles will make your brain sweat, so let's get it started. And bring a towel with you, okay? It's lunchtime at a large and busy office. Jeremy is enjoying some noodles from a takeout container. Yum! Liza prefers a healthy salad with shrimp. Seems like a pretty normal situation, but one of them is eating someone else's lunch. Yikes! Can you guess who? Looks like Jeremy likes to steal other people's food, or maybe it's just today. The container he's eating from is clearly labeled Brian, and he's not Brian. His own badge says Jeremy. Someone just robbed the jewelry store downtown. The robber ran inside the hospital and tried to mix with the crowd. But hey, no one can fool the local police officer. He has 3 suspects: a pregnant woman, an old man, and a blind man in sunglasses. Which of them is the disguised robber? It's the man with sunglasses. He's pretending to be blind, but he doesn't have a cane, which is suspicious. He must have just put those sunglasses on for disguise. Mindy is opening a new hair salon and wants to hire the best hairdressers. 3 candidates apply for the job. Alice claims to have 25 years of experience. Apple recently won a prestigious award. Natalie specializes in hair coloring, and her social media looks pretty amazing. One of the ladies is lying, though. Can you guess who? Alice says she has 25 years of experience, but her profile states she's only 30 years old. Unless she started working as a hairdresser at 5, she must be lying. Oh no, someone stole a pair of expensive high-heeled shoes from a designer boutique. Surveillance cameras inside weren't working, but luckily, there are some photos of people entering and exiting. Can you spot the thief? Look here. This woman became taller when she was leaving the store. She must have put on the high heels she had just stolen. A group of friends is going away for the weekend and renting a house. They agree to cook together, and everybody makes one dish. It's time to eat the soup, and everyone who has tried it starts giggling. The soup tastes like dessert, so the cook must have mixed up sugar and salt. Can you guess which of the friends cooked the soup? This guy in the corner has a fork instead of a spoon. He knew he wouldn't want the sweet soup anyways, so he didn't take a spoon for himself. 5 contestants make it to the final round of a popular cooking show on TV. Their task today is to talk about the most impressive cake they've ever made. Of course, they must show photos or videos of the cake. Sarah and Lizzie show the same absolutely amazing cake. Which one of them is lying that she made it? Both of them decided to cheat. The cake photo has the logo of its real creator in the bottom right corner. It says, "Made with Love by Nina Potter." You go to a museum that has an amazing new natural exhibition, but you didn't expect your immersion into nature to be so complete. One spider broke free from its exhibit window. Everyone is panicking, but you want to help out and spot it before it does something mean. Good luck saving everyone. Yay, here it is! The spider must have thought this beautiful painting is real and wanted to join the fam. Half of its body goes well beyond the frame. Don't like spiders? Yeah, me neither. I've got a bunny riddle for you. This cutie is running wild and free right into that field. Can you tell to what point it can run into that field? The bunny can only run as far as the middle of the field. After that midpoint, it will actually be running out of the field. Nancy has a job interview. It's going well, and she only has one question left to answer. The interviewer asks, "If you multiply all the numbers on your phone keypad, what number will you get?" Nancy is really confused since she isn't that good at math. Can you help her out? You don't have to be a math genius to solve this one. Multiplying any number by 0 always results in 0. And since there's a 0 on the phone, that's the answer. A really sweet-looking old man approaches Sam at the restaurant.
Hey!
He says Sam looks exactly like his son, whom he hasn't seen for years. He asks Sam a simple favor, to wave at him and say, "Bye, Dad," when he leaves the restaurant. Sam gladly does it. But minutes later, he gets a huge bill from the waiter. What just happened here? The old man told the waiter that his son would pay for his heavy lunch. And since Sam called him Dad, the waiter believed him. A famous painter is ready to give away one of his works for free to whoever guesses the logic behind this composition. The colors are burgundy, crimson, indigo, olive, and pink. Which color should go next and finish the sequence? The number of letters in the names of these colors gets reduced by 1 in every next row. So, any color that has 3 letters in its name will do. For example, tan or red. Ashley moves to a tiny town where everyone knows and helps each other. There are 2 nail artists to choose from. The first looks really fancy, and her nails are impeccable. She works at the only beauty studio in town, and it's really chic. The second one works at home, and her nails don't look so perfect. Which one should Ashley choose? Since they are the only 2 nail specialists, they do each other's nails. So Ashley should go to the second lady. She did a really great job on the other one. Tim is a real globetrotter and travels so much that he sometimes forgets where he is. He arrives at one of many hotels on his trip and wants to find out what time it is. He sees 3 clocks, each showing the time at one location. So what time is it now? The Coliseum and Manhattan are just posters on the wall, and the Sydney Opera House is really there. You can see it through the window. So the correct time is 9:25, mate. Someone stole the trophy from Angelina, who had just won the Best Actress award. There are 3 main suspects. Jim, a backstage crew member, claims that he was busy taking photos with all the celebrities. Nadia, an actress who didn't win this year, says this award meant nothing to her, so she wouldn't steal it. Kat, a celebrity stylist, says she was watching the ceremony with other guests, and they can confirm it. So, who's lying? If you look closely, you can see Nadia stealing the award in Jim's photos. I guess she wanted it after all. It's a summer weekend and friends are chilling at a remote lake. 4 of them go inside the lake, which is completely empty. Sometime later, 8 people walked out of the lake. What just happened there? Well, 4 people who walked into the lake were carrying 4 friends on their shoulders on the way in. They jumped off inside the lake and walked out on their own. Elisa finds an ad that offers a 90% discount on her dream vacation to whoever can solve the riddle. The owner of the travel agency shows a $50 bill and asks to find the easiest way to double the money in 10 seconds. What should Elisa do to solve the riddle? She should just put the bill in front of a mirror to double the money. Ashley receives an unsigned love note with an invitation to a fancy date. Inside the envelope, there was also a calendar and a code, 12263. Can you help the girl figure out who sent the note? The calendar will help. You'll need to find all the numbers in the calendar, and the first letters of the respective months will make up the name. So 12 is circled in September, so it's the letter S. Number 26 is circled in August, so it's an A. 3 is in May, it's an M, so the guy's name is Sam. Did you manage to solve all the riddles? Which one of them was the hardest? Feel free to share in the comments below.